This video will explain what actions are and demonstrate how you can use them to control profiling with AQtime. AQtime Pro offers several means of restricting which parts of your application will be profiled and when, and one of those means is called actions. The purpose of actions is to command AQtime to perform specific activities at the beginning or end of a particular routine. For example, switching the profiling status on and off, or clearing and getting profiling results. Now, actions can be used in conjunction with the coverage profiler, the performance profiler, and the function trace profilers. And today I'm going to demonstrate how you can use this facility to control profiling of your application. And in our demo today, we're going to use this sample orders application. Now, this application displays a list of orders and contains special functions for adding, deleting, modifying, and exporting orders. We'll profile this application with AQtime Pro and control the profiling process using actions. First, let's create a new profiling project for our application. To do this, I'm going to click the Create a New Project from Module button here on AQtime's Start page. AQtime brings up the Open File dialog, and I'll put in the path to my executable here. And now AQtime has created a profiling project for our application. So now I'm going to profile this application with the Performance Profiler. So we'll come up here, we'll choose Performance Profiler, and then I'll press Run. That brings up this Run Settings dialog. I'm going to keep the defaults and press Run. Now AQtime invokes my application, and now I'm going to perform some actions. So I'm going to open the orders database. I'm going to choose this mytable.tbl file. Now I'm going to modify one of my user's orders. So I'm going to select Charles Dodgson right here, and then go Orders, Edit Order. Make a change, we'll choose a different product, and we'll give him a bigger quantity. We'll click OK, and we'll save, and then finally close the application down. Now once the application is closed, AQtime is generating the profiling results. So let's view the results to understand how the application works. Okay, so here in the report panel, you can see which functions were called during the application's run. One of these functions is the main function. It's currently highlighted. And this is the function where execution begins. It calls other functions to perform subtasks. So to know what functions this routine calls, I'm going to switch to the call graph panel. So here on the call graph panel, we can see the functions that were called by the main function. For example, we can see the function that initializes the main form right here on the main form component. We can see the function that disposes of the main form when we close the application down. We can see the function that gets called when we click on the File Open menu option. So each of these functions calls other functions that in turn call other functions, which in turn call other functions, and so on. So to view the actual source code of the profiled functions, you just select a function up here in the report panel and then switch to the editor panel right here. For example, here you can see the source code of the menu orders edit click function. Now this function creates the order form instance down here on line 730, and it fills in its fields on line 732 through 761, and then it also calls the update current function here on line 763, which modifies the order data in the database according to the changes made in the dialog. Now that we know which functions are called during the application's run, we're going to demonstrate how to use AQtime's Actions feature to exclude some of those functions from profiling. Okay, so here in the Setup panel, we have this Triggers and Actions pane. This pane has the initial profiling status for thread setting, which sets the profiling status at the beginning of threads created in your application's process during the run. If this is enabled, profiling is allowed until an off trigger or a special action that disables profiling is called. If that setting is off, then profiling is disabled until an on trigger or another special action turns it back on. So suppose we need to start profiling at a certain point of application's execution, but not at the exact start of the application. To do this, we'll keep initial profiling status turned off and create an action that will enable profiling at the start of some routine. Okay, so to create a new action, I'm going to click on the Add Action button here on the toolbar, and in the ensuing dialog, I can enter a name for my action. I'm going to call this Enable Profiling, and I can specify what action type the action will perform. I could have it enable profiling, disable profiling, get results, etc. We're going to say enable profile. I can also specify whether AQtime will begin profiling on entering or exiting a particular routine. So I'm going to choose on enter here and click OK. Now the newly created action appears right here in the Triggers and Actions pane. And now what we want to do is specify what routine will be processed by this action. So suppose I want AQtime to enable profiling once the order form is opened. As we know, that form is opened when the Orders Edit menu option is selected. So the Enable Profiling action must operate from the beginning of that menu orders edit click function. So I'm going to expand my modules here, and I am going to look for that menu edit order function, which is right here. And I'm just going to drag that right from this tree onto my action. Now you can have multiple routines added to a particular action. For example, I could add the open, I could add on exit, and any one of these would tell AQtime to start profiling. But for right now, the only one that I really care about is this edit option right here. So now that we've created the action, we're going to profile the application again and see how the action is performed. So I'm going to perform the same sequence of operations I did earlier. So I've fast forwarded a bit, and now you can see we have fewer results than we did in our previous profiling run. There are no results for the main, initialize component, or other functions like that, for example. That is, the only results that we have are the ones for those functions who were executed after the menus orders edit click function was called. So by using the action, we've removed some excess profiling results. So now we have just a more focused set of information here, and it's easier to analyze those results. Okay, so we've demonstrated how you can use actions to enable or disable profiling. Another feature that makes actions very helpful is the ability to tell AQtime to get profiling results at a specific moment during the profiling run. Without actions, you can only obtain results after the run has finished, or by clicking this Get Results button right here while profiling is running. However, it can be difficult to precisely catch the moment when you need to click that button. So what we can do is create a special action that will have AQtime generate results for us when that orders form is closed and the data gets updated. So in that case, we need to create a Get Results action. So I'm just going to create a new action here. I'm going to name it Get Results. And I'll tell it to get results when it exits a particular routine. So let's click OK here. And now we'll specify the routine that we want to trigger those results. And in our case, it's going to be on the update current function, or that's what actually updates the information. Okay, so I'm going to profile my application again. So now I've just profiled a little snippet of my application. I've fast forwarded a little bit, but my app is still running. And when I updated my user's order, you can see that AQtime has automatically generated some results here in the background. So I can see the results that got displayed when the update method got called. So this lets us see the profiling results immediately without having to wait for the end of the application run. This is especially useful when you need to profile just a small piece of the application, for example, the initialization process, and you don't want to profile the rest of the application. So now we can continue on with our profiling. So I can come up here to File, Exit. I will click Save to this Yes Changes, and now AQtime will generate the full set of results that would have been included in the application's run. So we've demonstrated how you can use actions to configure the profiler run so that AQtime generates results upon entering or exiting a particular routine. In the same way, you can create an action that will command AQtime to clear results on entering or exiting a particular routine. And this is handy when you don't need the accumulated results up to a certain point and want to collect them anew at a different point during the application's execution. This concludes our video on using actions. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us at the URL on your screen. We wish you luck and hope you enjoy profiling your applications with AQtime.